let's start at Celtic Park because I think I want to talk about football. And what a day. What a day. I mean, I don't think anyone had a lot of confidence that Hearts would come away with the win there. I did say the romantic side of me was hoping for a 2-1 Hearts win, but I thought Celtic would win 2-0, the realist guy in me. And as you've said, Ali Simpson, should have gone with the romantic guy, and you absolutely always should. Always take that chance, that leap of faith that something could happen. Overall in the game, I think that Hearts pretty sturdy. I think Maeda has that chance really early on where he's pretty much in the 6-yard box from a really, really good move from Celtic, and they had a couple in this kind of 2-3 minute period where he just simply has to score, and he kind of almost like falls over as he kicks it past the goal, and you just think, oof, all right, Hearts are getting away with it, and it's just the classic, look, weather the storm, weather the first 15-20 minutes. It's a new manager at Celtic Park, they're up for it, they've hunted you down in the last couple of weeks, they're feeling like they're the ones that are on top with the momentum. Survive it, and Hearts do. And then out of nowhere, they get that first goal from Braga, who I thought was absolutely miles offside, but obviously deemed not to be. Came back in, he was just played onside, and you think, right, from absolutely nowhere, here we go. But it was still not like, I didn't feel like Hearts were getting battered. I felt like Celtic were creating a lot, of momentum was up, and you felt like they were probably only a matter of time before Celtic did get the opener, and they should have, but they don't. And Hearts snatch it, and they go in 1-0 at half time, and they absolutely take it. And then I think the second half really plays out very much similar. I think Celtic again on top, like getting in and around the box, but Hearts are defending the box really well. You know, you can see that kind of steel solidness from them and a Derek McInnes side that we've seen from them this season, defending the box very well. And they score from a set piece, and they score from a corner, and it's a great header. It really, really is. And all of a sudden, you're thinking, where in the hell has this come from, right? Where in the hell has it come from? But Hearts have got the belief, and now they've got a 2-goal lead to defend, and they drop in, and they do look to do that. Celtic, again, have a couple of flurry of moments towards the end. Tierney eventually makes it 2-1, and you get a little bit nervy, but it felt like a little too late, to be quite honest with you, for Celtic, and it absolutely was. And the final whistle goes, and you see the Hearts players collapse to the ground, and that's them beating them at Tynecastle Park and Celtic Park, and it's absolutely massive. It really is just the mentality barrier again broken, especially when it feels like they've really been hunted down in the last 2 weeks from Celtic. And I said the air had gone out of them, and they felt like they were that fighter who was wobbling, who was going down, but might just have that one big punch to be able to maybe get some energy going and change the momentum of the fight where it's going. And that's what Hearts have done with that victory yesterday. They've given themselves an opportunity to shift that momentum with themselves against Celtic. So it's just absolutely massive. I thought Cammy Devlin was absolutely brilliant. I think what McInnes has done with him and how he's played him this season and used him has been absolutely fantastic. You know, from a Celtic point of view, we see the three at the back. It's all three left footers, which I'm never keen of, having like a lefty on a right hand side. Certainly at the back anyway. I know up top now that's what all the wingers do. They cut inside, but I don't like that, but like he's going to have time, and I'm going to dive into him in a second about all that type of stuff. But overall, yeah, I didn't think Hearts were overly threatened, and I thought they defended the box really well, and Celtic just, that final pass, that final moment, and obviously there's even the one where the Hearts keeper makes an unbelievable save towards the end, and then it drops, is it to Hatate potentially, and he twats it off the bar. And, you know, it's just, even the commentator said, was it McFadden on commentary, or Chris Sutton, is like, it just feels like Celtic aren't going to score today. That's just the vibe that it's getting, and you get that sometimes in football games, and Hearts ride the luck, and you have to. So it's Nancy's first game. I haven't had a chance to fully dive into him and like watch his team play and stuff. I will get the opportunity to do that over the course of this week, and I'll obviously see Celtic play and how it progresses. And I think, as always, first of all, I'm always on the coach and manager side. I'm always intrigued. I think he should be given time ultimately. But as we always say here, at these really, really, really big clubs, and Celtic is one of those, right? It's about winning games, and they've just come off of a really interesting run with Martin O'Neill, where you would say that maybe the football's not exactly the greatest and the prettiest, but he won pretty much all the games, I think, from maybe Midtjylland. There's maybe one more in there. But he won games, and the Celtic fans were happy, and all that noise about the background stuff with the board and everything from Celtic just disappeared with winning games, and Celtic had hunted Hearts down, and they were happy with it. And I think this is an interesting dynamic here. And I put my video up on Martin O'Neill about maybe being that bit more old school, but what those guys do know how to do is win football matches without maybe necessarily playing and having a style and suiting it, and this is how I play. It's really just about winning football games. So the new man's got to do that here. He's got the tactics board out. He's playing around with it. I've seen online all the stuff. He's getting absolutely slated for that, rightly or wrongly, but in particular in Scottish football, you're going to get that. You are going to get that from fans. If we have a look, at where he's been at, he's been at Montreal and he's been at Columbus Crew. I, obviously, as most of you guys will know, and for those of you who don't, I stayed out in the Bay Area in San Jose. I was there for 8 years coaching football, so I did go to a few San Jose Earthquakes games, and obviously I watched a bit of the MLS there, and it was starting to grow, and you got the likes of Beckham and stuff coming over, and the names started to come over, as we know Messi and stuff are there now, and it's definitely more of an obvious place for those guys to go now. But I've seen the MLS game. I don't want to dive too much in terms of like the level of the league, because yeah, it's not that of the quality that like Rangers in Scotland are used to. Is it even the quality of the Scottish League? Like, I think the Scottish League gets quite a lot of slack, and I think it's a lot better. I think the SPL or SPFL is higher than the MLS. But aside from all of that, let's just take all of that to one side. I don't even want to talk about it. I know the culture, what it's like in America, being there with football and the fans and how it is. And I'm not slating it, and I'm not slagging it off, and I'm not trying to say here that there's not people that are not passionate about their team as it is here in Scotland or England or Europe or Brazil or whatever it is. Of course there is. But it is absolutely nothing on what you're going to see at Celtic from a culture point of view, and being in the hub in a city like Glasgow and what that city is and what it's all about and what the football club means to Glasgow, whether it's Celtic or Rangers. Nothing touches that on the MLS. It just absolutely does not. And I think out of everything aside, tactics, style of play, how he wants to do things, he will absolutely have not seen anything like it is to be in Glasgow and at Celtic, and he will not have felt anything like it from a managerial point of view. I think that's where his problem is going to come. I said the same a lot about Russell Martin, although he plays in England, he's been in the Premier League, so like it's a high kind of level, and you do have a lot of eyes on you. Maybe didn't quite know the pressure of Rangers, but yeah, this is just a big thing for Wilfred Nancy here that I think he's going to have to contend with. And he's got Rome on Thursday, and he's got the cup final at the weekend, and it's 3 games very quickly in a week. He's not going to have any time to get his ideas across on the training pitch like well and consistently. And it's just about, can you get Celtic over the line and get some wins in here? So I just think that is going to be an intriguing component to all of this, and that's the one I'm most intrigued to see how he is able to handle, and can he grasp that, and can he understand that, because he won't have felt anything like that in his managerial career in the MLS.